Part 3 to the chicken saga, and it's all about animal control because my neighbor packed his bag, sold his house, and he is out of here. Woo! Oh, that made me so happy that day. But after 8 months of a new ordinance, no words was said, nothing was said. Chickens living a healthy, wild, carefree life. No more pit bull, no more harassment, no more nothing. And all of a sudden, I get a telephone call from the animal control telling me about the fence. I needed to build a fence, and I needed to build a coop, and I needed to get rid of that rooster. What? Okay, I said, but I'm allowed to have free roaming chickens in the city. That's what the ordinance says. Well, no, there is a new ordinance says that they can be free range, but they have to have a fence. So I went up to the city manager and I looked into the new rules, and I have found out what needs to be done in order to build the fence, because animal control would not give me the appropriate information to build this fence. So, only reason they never had a fence to begin with is because some of those trees are kind of falling over and the limbs are falling, and I wanted to build something that was stable and will keep them in there and all that stuff. But I said to myself, I want to keep my chickens. I don't want to be fined. So let me just find a way to gather up the money, which I worked really hard to do. Gathered up the money, and now I bought some of the material. Just needed somebody to actually help me build the fence because the land is kind of rocky and it's kind of, some spots is almost like cement. So I said, no problems. I said, but I don't have to build a coop because they have the barn. A barn is not good enough. You need to build an actual coop for them. But they have a barn that is once for storage, but now it's pretty much designed for them to be in there and roost at night and lay their eggs. So there should be no problem with the barn, and I'm going to attach the fence to the barn and have that whole back area for them. So her main complaint was the rooster, the rooster, the rooster. Now, I've tried to find the rooster a good home that won't just, or put him into fights or anything to the sorts, that he actually gets to live a good, happy home after all these pit bulls attacks, all of this other stuff has happened. I have raised him from a baby chick all the way up to now, nursed him back to health and all this good stuff. And so I put out quite a few fillers, and everybody wanted to make chicken and dumplings out of him. And I was like, well, I might as well just have thrown him to the pit bull if I wanted that to happen, right? Not gonna happen. So, I called the lady up after a week, and I said, I need an extension to the fence. Well, we gave everybody the same amount of time period, and you need to have that fence built within a certain amount of time. And I said, I need an extension. There is a guy that's going to come, show up. I got all the materials, so I just need an extension to actually get the guy to come out here and build the fence in order. And she just goes off the rails and then their main focus was back on the rooster. And then I was like, are you going to give me the damn extension or not? I said, because this is just ridiculous. So she gave me the extension, but then she wanted to take days off of that extension and try to cite me anyways for the fence not being built in the time fashion when the guy already set the post. He set the post and he said, well, let's give it a week and then we'll wrap everything around the fencing and stuff like that, and then we'll build them a spot to be able to roam back and forth. Okay, that sounds great. So we did all of that, and then Tuesday they showed up at my house, and she comes outside and she was like, well, it looks like you spent a lot of money on this new chicken fence. Don't go there with me. Don't go there with me. So they cited me for the rooster, and they are telling me that there's some type of lady on the north end of town, and they get lots of complaints from the commissioner and this person and that person, and they are just rude and vicious. And I still bring up the fact that the pit bull got to live for so long, and she was like, well, if are you just expecting us to put down every animal that comes over here and that destroys one of your chickens? Are you expecting us to just put it down and just consider that as a vicious dog? Yes. Yes. That's kind of what I'm expecting, is that if somebody else's property comes onto my property and starts to terrorize my animals, then yes, if I gave you permission to do it, do it. I don't care about somebody else's animal when mine are being terrorized. So she cited me for the rooster. She expects me to get rid of the rooster. I'm going to take it to court, and right now, we're at the point that I had to go to court on December 2nd, email the city commissioner, and I'm going to try to get Robert grandfathered in somehow, some way, or at least get animal control off of my back, because like I said, I live in a commercial / homesteading little community anyways, so no harm, no foul, right? That's what I thought. And this animal control, they are pretty much rude, like on how they spoke, and admit to me, well, yeah, we sound like we're rude over the phone, but, just don't nobody take us seriously, because, they say that we're not doing our job, but it took you 8 months to realize that they didn't have a fence, but you never realized that they had a barn, and you haven't really noticed anything what's going on my property. But when you call me, you act like you know what's going on, but everything that you describe is not true or factual to any degree. So, with that being said, I'm going to court. I believe that it should go the way that I want to if I don't fight for my rooster or my rights or his rights. And if that happens, if they tell me he has to go, he has to go. But I will keep all y'all updated on how all of this goes. And let's just hope that we get to keep a rooster. All right. Y'all have a good rest of the night.